Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and I'm here to start a channel to express all of my passions around skincare, body care, beauty, and fashion. If that sounds good to you, I hope you'll join me today for an overview of all of my favorite products from BEAUTYPIE. So I'm going to leave timestamps down below, so check those out if you want to skip around to different categories and if you want to skip this next kind of housekeeping piece. So addressing the elephant in the room, my background has changed. We're finally kind of getting our house put together. We moved in last year and decorating is it feels like it's ramping up and it feels really good. So I'm very excited for the pieces behind me and also my filming setup. So I'm hoping that this is much better audio quality and video quality. I'm still learning, so hopefully this will continue to progress in the right direction. It's a lot to learn. So that out of the way, I want to talk about my skincare type and what I was looking for in a beauty routine with BEAUTYPIE, and then we'll kind of go lightly into what BEAUTYPIE is. I won't go all the way into the membership and the logistics of the company itself. There's plenty of videos out there. I will link those down below that were helpful for me when I was first deciding if BEAUTYPIE was something that I wanted to try. Okay, so my skin type is very, very sensitive. I have very dry but acneic prone skin, so I have to be very careful about what ingredients I put on my skin. And I also have to hydrate my skin without over hydrating it and causing some of the flare-ups of my hormonal acne. She's very temperamental, she's very high maintenance, but I have found some really great products from BEAUTYPIE that don't flare my skin, and honestly my skin has been looking much better since incorporating some of the skincare products. Let's jump into a little bit about BEAUTYPIE. So BEAUTYPIE is a membership-based makeup, skincare, body care company. Like I said, I won't go into major details, but what I chose was the yearly subscription. So I paid a yearly fee and then I have an allowance of the amount of products that I can purchase within a year. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about the pricing setup because it seems very fluid with this company. It changes quite often. And one thing that I will say is if you are interested in trying out these products, there's a couple of ways that you can do so without fully committing. They do have a day pass for $10 with I think around $300 allowance where you can try some of the products before you fully commit. And they also have been running a lot more promotions. I actually joined in a promotion for Black Friday and it was $50 off. So my membership essentially was $9 for the year and I felt that it was a good deal for me. So definitely be on the lookout for some of those promotions. Highly worth it to wait if you are interested in this. But again, the day pass would be great. And then I do believe you can purchase some of these at the full retail price. So the way it works is you pay a membership and then you get access to the member pricing, which is much lower than you would find it in like a luxury makeup skincare store situation. And I do agree with some of their pricing. So we'll get into the pricing with each product. But for now, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to break it down into categories. So let's start off kind of in the way that I would do a routine, which is skincare. Zevia for the win. If you love Diet Coke and you don't want to drink the crazy chemicals that are in Diet Coke, the Zevia is so good. A little bump of caffeine. I'm trying not to over-caffeinate this time. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is that I have been a member now for 6 months and I've been with most of these products for the length of that 6 months. I would not recommend products that I just tried yesterday. So I also need to note that BEAUTYPIE has no idea who I am. I don't think the internet has any idea who I am. I know the internet doesn't know who I am. So this is not sponsored. I know there's some sponsored content out there. I will say that I was swayed by some of the creators that I watched that I know I can trust, who I've proven some of their recommendations to be a good fit for me. So I will link those below. I also believe that there will be some savings there. I think a lot of those creators have $10 off your first order. So I will include those below We're just going to have a link-a-palooza in the description box, so editing Rachel, have fun with that. So the first product I want to talk about is the Super Healthy Skin Cleanser. Now this is the Gentle Foaming Face Wash. This retails for $11.99, and I typically use the Vanicream unscented super basic cleanser because, like I said, my skin is very sensitive. This does have fragrance in it, but it doesn't seem to bother me. And what I love about this is it is a very generous size. The Vanicream that I use is about 8 ounces. This is 13 fluid ounces. So very generous. I've been using for a few months now, and you can see that I've barely made a dent in the bottle. So great value for money with this coming in at about $11.99. Some of the key ingredients are amino acid derived cleansing foam, Pyrus Malis or apple fruit extract, and rubus or raspberry fruit extract, and yogurt filtrate. Now, I don't depend on my cleansers to do heavy lifting in my skincare routine. So yes, this does have really nice ingredients, but it's also just a great basic cleanser. It will break down makeup. However, I use this as my second cleanse. All right. The second product I want to talk about is more of a second cleanser as well, and it is the Super Healthy Skin Deep Purifying Cleanser. This is kind of a 2-in-1 product, and it is fantastic. So it comes out very creamy, and when you apply it, you're going to leave it on as a mask for however long you want. So my skin's very sensitive. I leave it on for about a few minutes, usually while I warm up the shower, because it takes a few minutes for ours to get pretty warm. So I'll leave this on, and then it emulsifies into this beautiful cleanser. And what I love about this is that it's gentle enough that it doesn't aggravate my skin or cause purging. A lot of people will say they're purging, but sometimes it's just irritation. It does not cause irritation for me, but it does keep breakouts at bay when I'm getting close to my cycle and I know that things are kind of brewing underneath the surface. I'll use this and it usually takes care of it. Doesn't strip my skin, but I do only leave it on for a couple of minutes. So definitely make sure you're doing kind of a test run with it at first and you're not leaving it on for like 10-15 minutes, because I could see this being very drying. This one retails for $10, which is so nice for like a mask and a cleanser in one. And again, very generous sizing. This is 3.3 fluid ounces, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you really don't need a lot to get a nice thick covering on your face. And some of the ingredients in this are kaolin, which my skin loves kaolin for clearing. Lactic acid, which is another gentle exfoliant. Montemorillonite clay. Oh, I probably butchered that. Never heard of that, but again, I love clays for kind of purifying my skin. Lauric acid, which is a gentle cleanser, and glycerin, which we love glycerin as dry skin people. So it is purifying, but it does have some of those moisturizing ingredients so that it's not going to overstrip. And this one doesn't fully dry and crack like some traditional clay masks, so I really appreciate that, and it's just a lovely product to use. And this one is unscented. A lot of the Super Healthy Skin products are unscented. The first cleanser I showed was not, but this one is. Just throw them. Oh yeah. Okay, this next one I'm so excited to talk about. This is what has really kind of inspired this video. So I do have BEAUTYPIE favorites, but this is kind of a step further. So these are the products that have totally replaced some of my other staples that I've been using for years, and this one is really what kicked it off. So this is the Japan Fusion. This is the Japan Fusion Pure Transforming Cleanser. I love this product so much. So prior to trying BEAUTYPIE, I was a religious user of Clinique's Take the Day Off Balm to remove my makeup. So this is gonna be a first cleanse. I would use it as a second cleanse too, but I love it so much that I like to kind of squeeze out how long I have with this product. So again, you get 3.38 fluid ounces. I wish that they would make a jumbo size of this, because The one caveat I will say is if you're wearing a decent amount of sunscreen and makeup, you're going to have to use a decent amount of this to break everything down. However, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any out because this product was very well loved. Yes, okay. So if you can see that it's a very gel-like texture that kind of breaks down into a really nice feeling oil, but don't let that scare you. I don't believe that it's not heavy enough and it doesn't feel oily enough that it would cause any congestion in the skin. Again, I have very acne prone skin, so I love using this. It breaks down makeup and sunscreen flawlessly. There's a little bit of fragrance in this, but my skin can really handle it if it's not overwhelming and if it's a product that I'm going to wash off. So you'll see that most products outside of cleansers are not going to have fragrance except for body fragrance. This retails at $9.81. So, and this is also 3.38 fluid ounces. If you look at Clinique Take the Day Off Balm, for the same amount of product in a balm form, you're going to pay 3 times as much. So I believe that that's a little over $30. So this was where I really started to see savings in my everyday routine from BeautyPie products. And I would 10 out of 10 recommend this. This is a bestseller for a reason, and this is one of the places I would start. They do call out some great ingredients, antioxidants. However, again, I don't rely on my cleansers to do the heavy lifting for actives in my routine. So all in all, it's just a really great makeup remover, and this is empty now, but I have already ordered a backup for this. All right, so that wraps up cleansers. I'm gonna move now to eye creams. So eye creams are something that it's very controversial, whether you believe that you need one or not. I am kind of in the camp that I have very dry skin, so any extra moisture I absolutely need. I also have environmental allergies that are just relentless, so I need some products to help kind of calm any dry skin or irritation from the allergy eye drops I use if my eyes are watering a lot. So I'm in the camp of I would like an eye cream. And these are much more affordable. Before I was kind of just using whatever eye cream sample came as like a freebie. But with these being as less expensive as a lot of other brands, I am more than happy to purchase these. And one of the main reasons why is this next product I'm about to talk about. So this is the Pure Ceramides Elastic Boost Eye Moisture Serum, and it looks like this. You can see that this one is well loved. I already have a backup in my bathroom waiting. So ceramides have really changed my skin. If you don't know what ceramides are, they're kind of a building block of your skin already, and they're very soothing and balancing. So I am not a skin doctor, dermatologist. What is wrong with me? Anyway, so if you want to learn more about that, there are plenty of great creators here on YouTube that go very in-depth into the science. However, the main thing that I love about this, besides the ingredients, is the rollerball tip. This feels incredible in the morning. It definitely wakes you up, and even in the evening, if it's been a long day, you've been wearing makeup around your eyes, if you've had to kind of like really remove some difficult products, which if you're removing difficult products at the end of the day, I've got some wrecks, so maybe that's a video. But this just feels amazing, especially during allergy season. And I usually only have to do one click. So you turn this and it clicks the product up into these roller balls. I do one click per eye, and this has lasted, this is one of the first products I bought. So this has lasted 6 months, which is fantastic. And it comes in, I think, at $10. So $10 for an eye cream that lasts 6 months. Can't beat it, love it, highly recommend. All right, the next guy here is the BeautyPie Super Retinol Anti-Wrinkle Eye Cream. So as a woman of a certain age, you're supposed to be using retinol. I use a prescription for my face, but having one that's been tested for the eye area was really important to me. I am noticing, you'll see I have beautiful lines here, and I'm getting a little bit of crow's feet as I age, which that just means I've smiled a lot, so I'm happy with that. But to keep them kind of at bay, I've been introducing a retinol. This is definitely gentle enough to use every day. However, if my eyes are irritated from allergies or whatnot, I'll be using a non-active eye cream that's just moisturizing, or I just use my moisturizer all over. So coming in at $13.89, I think that's a fantastic price for a retinol-based eye cream. There's a lot out there that are above $60 or more dollars. So this has the encapsulated retinol, which is supposed to be much more gentle. Then there's also a youth boost, which is a proprietary complex through BEAUTYPIE. I don't know how to say alpha glucosyl hesperidin. It's an antioxidant. And then hyaluronic acid. So great ingredients, love this product, would recommend. I need to stop saying would recommend, because clearly if these have replaced all of my current favorites, they're a recommend. I have no idea what I was just saying. Next products I want to get into are the moisturizers. So I don't use a lot of serums, and most of the serums on the BEAUTYPIE site are fragranced, so I kind of avoid those. However, the 3 moisturizers that I'll be talking about, none of them have fragrance, which I'm so happy about, and I do hope that BEAUTYPIE listens to the consumers when they're asking for more fragrance-free options. So I'll kind of start from light to heavy in terms of moisture. So the first one is the Happy Face Extreme Cica Moisture Cream. You guys, I think that this and the Purifying Cleanser have been the biggest game changers from BEAUTYPIE in terms of changing my skin. The other cleansers are great, but they're kind of just like an ends to a mean, and they work really well for a great price. These have ingredients that I believe have changed my skin. So this moisturizer includes Biometric Ceramide Gel and Centella Asiatica. So both of those are going to be extremely soothing, help repair barrier strength, and just overall kind of soothe and help out the skin be a little bit happier. So what I love about this too is as we move into warmer months, if you can see, it's a very light gel texture and it sinks in beautifully, which makes it incredibly lightweight. It does feel super nourishing and still lightweight. So sometimes when it's very cold, which we seem to be fluctuating a lot here in the Northeast, but when it's very cold, I'll use this and then a moisturizer on top of it. So if you're very dry, it's probably not going to be enough in the evenings, maybe enough in the mornings, but I would still kind of layer this. As we get into the warmer months in summer, I tend to get a little bit less dry and more oily, so I will be using this probably as a morning moisturizer and then potentially still layering this in my evening routine. And this guy comes in at $14.50, which again for 2.5 fluid ounces is great. I was using the Belief Aqua Bomb in the morning where I would kind of substitute this in, and that I believe Costco sold it, and I really wish they would bring it back. But for a 2.5 ounce product of the Belief Aqua Bomb, I believe it was like $60. So incredible value again. Love to kind of save in a routine without compromising on results or quality. And the packaging for a lot of the skincare is kind of lackluster. It's great packaging. I love a squeezy tube for a moisturizer. And it does feel like quality squeezy tube, whatever that means. But you're not going to get like super luxurious experience. That kind of comes in with later products. My hands are going to be so moisturized. Next one I want to talk about is the Triple Hyaluronic Acid Deep Moisture Miracle Cream. It comes in a tub. Now this does feel more luxurious. It's glass, which is always much appreciated. And honestly, even the products that are a little bit more basic in packaging, I still love the packaging. It's very clean. It's very kind of grown up without being super boring. Like this is not boring to me. It's very classic and I don't mind it being out on my vanity in the bathroom or out on a shelf. I think it looks nice. And yeah, I just think I just kind of gave the cons, but there's the pros, and we'll get into more pros with more products, but appreciate the glass in this. So I'm gonna try to give a good view of this. This is a very runny cream, but it also looks and feels like a whipped gel texture almost. I'm sorry, this is gross. That's how you know that I use it a lot. But I love that because I don't traditionally love moisturizers in a jar, but with this, you can kind of like pour out a little bit. See if I can do it. Yeah, see it comes, and then you can like pour it out instead of like, I mean, obviously I have very long nails. I don't like to dig those into creams and products. So I really appreciate that. So I'm just going to give you a nice texture shot here. So again, very gel-like and whipped, but when you rub this one in, it feels slightly heavier than the Cica moisturizer that I just showed, but again, not heavy at all. So if you are very oily and acneic, I don't believe that this one is going to cause you any issues. And it just feels like you put water on your face, but with a nice occlusion to keep that water in. It's a very refreshing product. It feels amazing if your skin is dry but can't take a heavy, thick cream. So I love this one. Clearly with the title, there's hyaluronic acid in there. Let's see what else. Ideal Lift, which again, proprietary. And then Sea-Fill, which my skin does really well with anything seaweed or seawater. It just, I don't know what it is. I don't know the science, but my skin loves it. It seems to calm it and kind of keep breakouts at bay. So I love that that's included in there. I will say, since this is a lighter product, again, it's more of an AM moisturizer for me, especially in the winter. And sometimes I'll layer this too if I need a little bit more occlusion on top. But I can't wait for summer because I do think this is going to be perfect for AM or PM once it gets a little bit warmer and my skin kind of adjusts to the weather. And this one is $17.43 for 1.69 ounces. Again, I would compare this to Aqua Bomb. If you're someone who loves Aqua Bomb, I think these two moisturizers I'm talking about would be a really good kind of substitution for that. And again, you're saving a decent amount of money there. I believe the 1.69 comparable Belif Aqua Bomb is going to run you about $38, so half the price. We love it. Love to save money where we can without compromising. Okay, the next product is the Super Healthy Skin Daily Moisture Lotion. This is the most basic moisturizer, and I mean that in the best way. If you have very sensitive skin, this is fragrance free, and I don't believe, let's take a look. Yeah, I don't believe there's any ingredients in this that will flare unless you have an allergy to specific ingredients. There's shea butter, water Daphne stem cell extract, anti-aging peptides, antioxidants. It's just great. I love that there are peptides in this as well, because we all know that peptide moisturizers can tend to run very expensive, like Allies of Skin, which is over $100, or even the Proteini by Drunk Elephant, which I believe is like $70. So this one comes in at a whopping $14.69. So, and that's for 2.5 fluid ounces. So again, great pricing there. Very kind of typical squeezy tube. I'll show you the texture of this guy as well. So this is one that is much thicker, as you can see, more like a traditional cream. And it blends really easily. Like, see how fast that blended? Which is very much appreciated, but you still feel a heavier occlusion. I don't want to scare anyone by saying heavier. It's not hard to be heavier than some of the other ones I showed you. But this is what I love to use in the evening, even in winter. It's enough to kind of occlude what I've put underneath of it and keep everything really hydrated. So on really cold nights or when my skin was really flaky and dry, I would layer one of the other two underneath this and kind of lock it in with this. It's a really great moisturizer. The only thing is I would not recommend using this in the AM before sunscreen. I did have a decent amount of pilling with this. I'm sure it's the silicones in the product, but does not play well with sunscreen or makeup really. Like throughout the day, I could kind of like rub and like pill up some of the product underneath. So be mindful of that, but it's a very good fragrance-free basic moisturizer, and I would recommend this to anybody dry or oily skin, it might feel a little heavy for oily skin, but I don't think it's heavy enough to actually cause any issues. All right, guys, we made it through skincare. It only took a half an hour. I still have a lot of products to get through. All right, we're into my favorite category of BeautyPie products, and I'm so excited to share these. And part of me is like, wait, these fragrances are like becoming some of my like signature scents, so know that I love you when I'm sharing this with you. So I'm going to go into body care, as I just said, and I want to get some of the miscellaneous things out of the way. The first one being the BeautyPie Silk Scrunchies. I have been an avid user of the Slip brand scrunchies for 5 years now. Those scrunchies are pricey and made me question my sanity multiple times. They do, however, last a long time. They'll stretch out at some point, but they are amazing for people with very fine, straight hair that don't want to have the weird kinks in your hair after you take your hair down from being out of your face. Enter the Silk Scrunchies. So this is a major selling point of joining BeautyPie for me. These are like a pack of 6 is $18. The Slip ones are like a pack of 6 for like $40, and I don't even know if it's 6. So amazing deal. Love these. I haven't seen any difference to the Slip ones, so if that's something that you're using and you'd like to save a couple of bucks and still get great quality, these colors came in the holiday set for $18, but they also have a nude color and a black color in their own sets. All right, I want to do a full video on my nail and hand care, not because I think I have great hands, but I am a picker. So I use beauty products as a way to kind of mitigate that and take my mind away from picking and more to having healthy nail beds. So this would be a star of that video, and it is the Super Retinol Hand Cream. You guys, I love that we are now in an era where they're putting actives in things like hand cream and body cream, because a lot of times, and I know that if you watch beauty videos, you've heard this, but your neck and your hands are going to give your age away before your face. So much appreciated that we're giving love to those parts of our body. So I'm an avid hand cream user, and I know that a lot of these can get to a price where you're like, no ma'am. So this one comes in at about $13, which is definitely more expensive than like your typical $5 hand cream. Sometimes we're just looking for moisture, and that's totally fine. I use those in my bag when I'm out and about and I need kind of like to re-up my hand cream situation. This one, however, is the one that I will keep in my nightstand, and this is what I use every night. I'm almost through my first tube. A lot of that's air. And I already have a backup in my bathroom because I don't want to be without this. I have seen a difference in my hand, and I will show you. So I have a scar that's barely showing. There we go. I have a scar from a battle with a sewing machine, and I have actually seen it fade to the point where it's kind of hard to show you on camera. This was very prevalent for a long time. Now, some of it could be that it's been years since that happened, so some fading is to be expected, but this, I think, has made a huge difference. And then also, to follow up, if you're using retinol on any part of your body, you need to be protecting with sunscreen. So I do use whatever is left over on my hands after doing my face to do on my hands, and I think that in combination with this has done wonders for that scar. It's unscented, it sinks right in, and keeps them very hydrated. Like, my hands have never been softer and smoother since using this as well. Now we're in to my favorite part of BeautyPie, and what I'm kind of scared to share because these scents really just get me going. So the first I want to jump into is like, what do I use in the shower from BeautyPie? And my very favorite is the Love line. Now, this is the body wash and body lotion. There's not crazy actives in these, just a lot of moisturizing ingredients. So we'll get into that, but I want to talk about the notes. Ooh. how do they hold this stuff? I want to talk about the notes in the scent because the scent is really what sells me on these. So I'm going to look off and read off some notes because who can memorize that much? Could never. So this is the Love perfume. It has Calabria bergamot, pink rhubarb, quince, black orchid, apricot nectar, honeysuckle, muguet, golden amber, cedarwood, sandalwood, and musk. So upon reading those notes, I'm not someone who typically likes sandalwood or musk, and I don't really like a lot of florals. However, the pink rhubarb was very enticing to me, and after reading comments and reviews, and then also ML in the City on YouTube here swears by this, so I had to give it a try. And it's a very sweet scent, but it's not gourmand. It's a very clean, creamy, with a touch of sweetness in there. And it's the golden amber. It's like the sweetness of amber. I don't know if that's going to make sense to anyone, but there's a slight sweetness that comes with amber, I think, or like a warm, comforting feeling. It's just amazing. And the body wash lathers up beautifully. No complaints there. This is a new bottle. The one in my shower is probably down to here, and I've been using it for probably 3 months. So again, a lot of longevity. You also get, I think, 8.45 fluid ounces. Same in the body lotion. The body lotion is incredible to layer, especially if you love scent layering, to make it last longer. There's nothing crazy ingredient-wise in this, but it is very moisturizing. It's almost like a watery lotion. It looks thick, but when you rub it in, a little really does spread for days, and it feels, again, similar to that triple hyaluronic acid moisturizer. It just feels like water and lotion in one. And see, it goes on so quickly, and then this is one where you don't have to wait an exorbitant amount of time to put like leggings on your legs after lotioning up. It sinks in pretty quick, so cannot say enough good things about these. And if you love the scent, this is going to show how much I love it. I've used almost all of this. The scents from BEAUTYPIE, these range from 18 to 24 depending on the size. So this one was about $18. These three together, I just smell incredible. And it's just smelling it now. It's just one of those like scents that make you feel warm and cozy and super happy. And I got so overwhelmed with how much I love these that I didn't say. These are $11 to $13. And I was assured the last time that these went out of stock that this is going to be a staple scent of theirs, so it's not going anywhere, and that makes me extremely happy. And we're getting into the end of the body care products. Again, these are products that I use every day. Those Love products, that's what I use every day, unless I'm using these next products. And these next products are what I would call my rich lady shower. So even though these products are not super expensive, they feel incredibly luxurious, and you smell like a very expensive, rich, clean Tic Tac. And I mean that in the best way possible. It has citrus, but it also has this soapy, clean scent, which usually I'm not a big fan of. I lean more towards warm and sweet scents, but this is unlike anything I've ever smelled. It is truly great, and it is also the fragrance that is in that first cleanser I showed, but much lighter. So the super healthy skin line, if it's fragranced, is generally going to be this kind of citrusy fragrance that I'm mentioning. So I want to talk about the notes of it. So the notes are going to be lemon essence, bitter orange, sweet orange, and the base notes are going to be aromatics, florals, jasmine, and solar, which is warmth and radiance. I don't know what solar is as a note. That's the first time I've ever heard it, but I do agree. And it's funny with the aromatics because that is what must give it that soapy clean smell. But again, it's like fresh oranges, clean soap, luxurious. It's just, I won't wax poetic anymore. So the products that I have in this scent are the Super Healthy Skin Nourishing Body Wash. This has glycerin, aloe vera, and deluxe coconut suds, and it is a very generous bottle. So if I show this next to the Love product, you can see very generous sizing. So the Love was 8.45, and this I believe is 15.22, so a lot of product. I've had this from the beginning, and it's not even halfway through. So again, suds up very nice. Haven't seen a bad reaction on my skin. It's just filling the bathroom with this smell is just, like I said, rich lady shower. Now the product that takes up most of the kind of credit for it being a rich lady shower is my very, very favorite product from BEAUTYPIE. I think this and the Japan Fusion Cleanser and the Ceramide Eye Cream, those take the cake in terms of skincare and body care from BEAUTYPIE. I don't ever want to be without these products. So this is the Nourishing Body Polish. It has smoothing mango, papaya enzymes, coconut milk, orange, and lemon oil. So she looked like this. It's a beautiful tub, plastic, but it feels much nicer than like a Tree Hut scrub. It feels very luxurious. This has the same scent. Just so good. And this is why I love this product. I, in all of my high maintenance skin glory, have very bad KP, especially on my shoulders and arms. This scrub, it's very coarse in the sugar in a very good way. It's fine enough that it doesn't feel like it's tearing your skin, but it's rough enough that it's really going to give you that physical exfoliation. But it also has AHAs in the oil, and that oil really sticks around. So I would use this after you're done washing your body, because this is going to leave oil on the skin, but in a way that you don't have to moisturize coming out of the shower, and it keeps those AHAs on your skin long enough to really see improvements. This has single-handedly made my KP so much easier to manage, and I only use this once or twice a week. It is a rich lady shower after all, so we have to stretch her as far as we can, but I've already been through 2 of these, and I will continue to repurchase this. Please try this if you have KP. That is an order. Okay, the next item is going to be from the same line, and it is the Deluxe Moisture Cream. Oh man, this is, I'm getting low on this one, but if you can see, it looks like a very thick body butter. But when you get it out and on your skin, it is similar to that lotion that we tried earlier, where it just, I used a lot. Hold please. It sinks in just as easy as that lotion and feels, again, very like watery cream. And I love this. You don't need to use it after the oil, but again, in winter days when I'm really dry, I will layer this. But look how just moisturized, shiny, and healthy. It's just lovely. Same scent, incredible. It is very strong though. If you are very, very sensitive to fragrance, you might want to pass on these, but I hope you're not, because these are everything. My favorite thing to do is to use all of these products before bed. Take my rich lady shower, which is taking a nice long shower before bed, using the products that really make you feel luxurious. And then when you go to bed and you curl up in your blankets, you're just engulfed in this warm scent, and it just lulls me off to sleep so much easier than if I just like lay down smelling like whatever, you know. Scent is very important to me, so I'm so happy to come across these. And the last thing in this line is the Orange Absolute perfume. So I showed you a smaller size earlier. This is the large size, so it'll run you around $25, which for 3 ounces of a luxury perfume, like no question. These perfumes and scents, BeautyPie says, are created in France, which comes through because these scents are very balanced and very, very complex. So same notes that I read to you earlier, this is what I like to layer with those products to really make that scent last and kind of, like I said, engulf me in that. It's a whole fantasy. So the one thing I will say is this leans less on the citrus side and more on the soapy side. So it's great for layering with these products. However, it's not going to be exactly what the body products smell like. I just want to put that out there. But layered with the products, it really does just make the scent last longer and kind of create further complexity and really bring out kind of those like clean, creamy, warm scents. But definitely less on the citrus. I wish I would have known that. But this is called Orange Absolute, and the rest of the line is just super healthy skin, but this is the companion perfume to those products. And I just realized I didn't go over pricing. So the body wash is around $10. I know that that's more expensive than your typical body wash, but you get so much product, it lasts forever. And for a rich lady shower, $10, I'll do it. And then the cream and the scrub are going to be closer to $18, $20. Again, I don't use these every night. This is my rich lady shower, and I think for the price, it's so worth it. A lot of other AHA products that I've used for my KP have been more expensive than that, so I'm happy to have one that actually works and that I enjoy the entire experience of. So I would be more than happy to repurchase these and recommend these to someone who struggles with KP but does not have aversion to fragrance in their product. We're into the makeup portion of this video, and the first thing I want to talk about are tools. And I'm a little sad to say this because the first one I want to mention they no longer have, which is the makeup brush kit, which this is where packaging really shines. And I think I forgot to mention the perfume is glass, which is amazing. It's a very heavy magnetic lids. That is where luxury shines in BeautyPie, but also their gift packaging for the specials they have. So this is the box that the brushes came in. Like, look how nice that is. Is it upside down? It's upside down. But look how nice that is. And then when you open it up, they usually have tissue paper wrapping that looks really nice. But inside the box is this beautiful leather makeup brush holder that looks like this. It's got a nice tie that wraps. And then inside, what is wrong with me today? Inside you have your brush holders and a nice protection flap. And what came with this are 10 brushes. So, ta-da! Here's the 10 brushes. BeautyPie knocks it out of the park with the brushes. So I'm gonna go through these and highlight the ones that I love and have multiples of. So they don't have the set anymore. It was $45, which $45 for 10 brushes and a brush set that are this quality and this soft. Outstanding pricing. I hope they bring the set back, please. But if you are interested in any of the brushes I'm about to talk about, they're all listed singly on the BeautyPie website, and they're usually like $8 to $13 per brush, which again, slightly more than like an Eco Tool set, potentially Real Techniques, e.l.f., but you are getting much better quality than some of those drugstore brands, just in terms of how these brushes are made and the softness of the bristles and the sturdiness of the handle and ferrule. So the first one I want to talk about is the Seamless Foundation Buffing Brush. I have 3 of these now. I can do an entire routine with these. I love these. I used to be very monogamous with my Rare Beauty foundation brush. This is softer, which is hard to believe, but softer. I also really like the shape. It's a nice circle. I did wash these, but none of us are perfect. But it also has this really slight angle and roundness, and it's very dense. But it also has kind of this duo fiber situation. So if you're used to traditional stippling brushes, it's kind of that theory. but much denser with the white tip. So what this does beautifully is it just buffs in 2 seconds flat. You really can tap, and then if you are more of a buffing person, this feels incredible and also just like blends into nothing so quickly. So love it for foundation, contour, bronzer, cream blush. Beautiful with cream products. And I would recommend this as your starter brush from BEAUTYPIE. You'll absolutely fall in love. Cannot recommend this enough. The next one I want to talk about is the all over face powder. This one is decent in size. So if this is kind of your traditional foundation brush size, which it's not too big, not too small, it gets in a lot of these areas really nice. This one is significantly larger. And again, you have kind of that duo fiber feel. It is less dense, but it's still fairly movable. It's still dense, less dense than the foundation, obviously, but it's very movable. It's very soft, and it has a nice kind of tapered shape. A little bit wider there and a little bit thinner on the side. This is so good for bronzer. I could do this all day. And again, with kind of that duo fiber setup, it just blends powder like no other. I would recommend this more for powder with how flexible it is, but it really can just flick powder on the face in a beautiful way. I don't have another brush that's like this because it hits that sweet spot of being dense enough to really blend, but flexible enough to kind of pat gently and have control over your powder products. The next one is the Pro Angled Cheek Brush, your typical kind of angled cheek brush, and it has a nice kind of oval almost shape, but then that contour brush or blush brush kind of angle to it. Again, so soft and dense. This one is closer to the foundation brush, but for cream blush or cream bronzer or cream contour, it's beautiful. I would say if you are trying to keep brushes to a minimum, this one will do everything that this one does just as well, but this is a nice shape to have in your brush collection. And if you're lazy like me, you don't wash your brushes all the time, it's nice to have a backup. So love both of these, but would go with this one, the foundation brush over the cheek brush. The next one is the Pro Blend brush. So it's almost a smaller version of the all over face brush. They're about, you can see, they're about the same density. It's just one is much smaller than the other. This one I could take or leave. I do, when I'm more into powdering my face, I love brushes like this because they're perfect to set under the eye. The size is great and the softness is great, but it's not a brush that I use every single time I do my makeup. So it's a good brush if you think you would like this shape and size. The quality is great. Again, the handle and the ferrules are so nice. They both feel metal cased, and it doesn't feel like these would become loose anytime soon, and I have had no shedding. So if you like the shape of the brush, I say go for it. Not my favorite, but that's just personal preference. It's not the product. All right, then we have a nice little highlighting brush. Again, nice and fluffy, dense but not super dense, perfect for highlight. But also this is the brush I tend to use more than that last one for powdering under my eyes. Because I'm using much less powder now, I really just want to set those areas that crease on me. So this is perfect, super soft, love it, recommend all day. Then last we have the 5 eye brushes that came with this set. We have kind of this is technically a concealer brush, but to me this is perfect for kind of laying down shadow. Then we have an eyeshadow base, which could be used for the same thing, but you'll see it's quite fluffier. So it's nice as well. Then we have our contour eyeshadow. Such good shape and sizes of both of these, the contour and the smudge shadows. There's another end on this one. Perfect sizing if you have deep set or slightly hooded eyes like I do. These sizes are really perfect for kind of like creating this detail wing here or lining. So Love those. And then last we have the eyeshadow blending. This is not my preferred shape for blending. You'll see it has kind of a flat appearance one way, like flat this way. And it's dense. It is very soft and it does blend, but it's dense and short, bristled enough that it's more for like very precise blending of like a smoky part. I wouldn't necessarily love this for fluffing out my crease shadow. But overall, great if you're in the market for eye brushes, and $8 to $10 to $13 are kind of in your budget. I would highly recommend the BEAUTYPIE. They wash beautiful, again, no shedding, and they feel like great quality, better quality than Eco Tools, which I love. I use a lot of Eco Tools, but would put these over that in terms of quality. All right, the last brush that I have did not come in that set, but it is one that I would highly recommend, and it is the Pro Angled Concealer Brush. So this one, I really want to get a good picture of the shape. So it's kind of an oval shape, but then it has a nice angle, curved angle. It's almost as if the contour blush cheek and the foundation brush kind of came together and had a small child. And it is everything that you would want their small child to be. It is just as soft, and it is the perfect size to get in the hollow of the eye and under eye for concealer. And I also love how dense this is, because if I have a spot that I want to let the concealer sit on so that it remains full coverage and I just tap, this effortlessly blends the edges of that concealer. Can't say enough good things. These three brushes are absolutely where I would start. If you're not really into powder products, skip this guy, but these are amazing for your base makeup and absolutely where I would start. And for $20 to invest about that, I can't say enough good things. Maybe skip the one Eco Tools set and go with these two. You'll be happy you did. They'll last forever. Incredible. I can see the finish line. Now we've come to the final category, which is the makeup itself. I will say I have not tried everything from BEAUTYPIE, but I have tried about 50 products. Most of them have been in the skincare, body care areas, but I have tried quite a few things in the makeup categories. I want to address the lips from BEAUTYPIE. All of the lip products I've tried have been great. I've tried every category of lip that they have other than the liners. They're great, but for me, they weren't enough to kind of knock out my top favorites, which are from In Beauty, Fit Glow, Pat McGrath. They're great, but they're not top tier for me. And this video is about the things that have knocked my top tier out of the running. And I say that with kind of an asterisk, because this next product hasn't completely knocked my favorite out, but I will consider kind of trading off which one I buy, if that makes sense. So I want to start with primers. I have two here. I have the Wonder Filter Brightening Primer, and I also have the All-in-Wonder Illuminating Primer. Where do I start? So the one that I would recommend out of these two is tricky. I want to kind of give a swatch, and that might help you understand my dilemma there. So that's the Wonder Filter. It's going to be very brightening, even on my extremely paper white skin tone. It is very brightening. So I don't think that I can fully recommend this for deeper skin tones, because even blending it out, it's going to brighten, and I think the coloring could potentially be ashy on deeper skin tones, which is a shame, because this one kind of is in the running for a dupe for the In Beauty Face Glaze. So looking at the ingredients, they're not exact, but this is squalane based, just like the In Beauty Face Glaze, and it does give kind of a blurring quality that face glaze gives, which is what I love. And it also is super hydrating. Sometimes I'll use the N Beauty face glaze as just a moisturizer in the daytime. And this definitely gives a sheen. I worry about the ashiness on deeper skin tones, but I can't say for sure. It's beautiful and it's hydrating. It gives you a nice glow. I love it. The ingredients work well with my skin, and this is probably half the cost of that N Beauty face glaze. So while that one is beautiful, smells like vanilla, is lovely, sometimes when you just want to save money and still get the effect, 10 out of 10 would recommend this. Maybe not for deeper skin tones, which is a shame. I hope that maybe they'll come out with a similar one that is more translucent so that it doesn't kind of provide that ashiness, because sometimes it's even too brightening for me. And girl, the next one is the all-in-one illuminating primer. I also love this. I will use this in place of a skin tint. Girl, this is my issue. The other one is too brightening, and this one is kind of dark for me. Granted, I'm fine with that. I am a very hard customer to get something light enough for, so I don't mind that it's darker because it means it's going to work for a lot more skin tones. I still can get away with this if I really bronze my neck and you can't see the rest of me. But what I love to do is mix it with this, because this is almost too brightening at times and this one is a little too dark. If I mix them, it's kind of this really nice skin tint, and although they're listed as a primer, I can use them as kind of a glowy base and then just use concealer instead of foundation. So I do love both of them. I'm starting to wonder if they even belong in here, because I do love them. I do recommend them. But these replace products for me on days where I don't want to use my foundations and I just want something super light and simple. That's what these do. I still use the N Beauty face glaze, but these are a strong contender. I would recommend for about $10 if you want to save a little bit in your routine. These are for you. Moving right along to another base product. It is the Super Luminous Under Eye Genius Corrector. The packaging on this, so beautiful. Nice glass jar and an embossed lid. This is an under eye corrector and I have it in light medium. Can we have a moment, please? I have tried a number of these. I have very bluish purple under eyes. They're even coming through now with like quite a heavy duty concealer. I have never understood people that could get away with just a corrector, because for me, my dark circles were so bad that I would need the corrector and a concealer on top. And as I'm starting to age, that can look very heavy. This is heavy duty enough that I don't need concealer on top. I can just put this on. I can even put this on after my makeup's done if my dark circles are relentless and trying to like peek through and ruin the day. I cannot say enough good things about this. I think it's around $13. Cannot recommend enough. It's much lighter than the Bobbi Brown, so it's not going to look as makeup-y under the eyes. It's probably most comparable to the Becca. It's definitely lighter weight and sinks in much better than the Benefit Boying. I just can't say enough good things about this. This has changed my mind completely with under eye correctors. I don't have to add any additional product, especially on the days where I don't want to wear a lot of makeup. If I use something like this under my eyes, and maybe spot conceal if I need it that day, powder my T-zone, I'm ready to go. I look presentable. I don't look like I just rolled out of bed. So, love this product. Can't say enough good things. If you know of other products other than the ones I just mentioned that are as full coverage as this, I'll give a nice swatch. It is very peachy pink, which is what I need. But see, it just sinks right into the skin. If you know of any that sink into the skin like that, please let me know down below. The final countdown. Okay, The next to last product, we're really getting to round this out, are the BEAUTYPIE Super Cheek Cream Blushes. These are in the same packaging as the under eye corrector. I have this in Sexy Berry as well as Bare Blush. So yeah, Bare Blush and Sexy Berry. I will swatch those as well. I do want to try other colors, but I also try to be mindful of my collection and it not growing too quickly, too fast. But this texture, it feels creamy, but you can tell upon touching it that there's some technology and silicones in there, so it's going to kind of blur and look very skin-like. So not even dewy, it's not matte, it's just gonna look like skin. So I will blend these out just a little bit. But we have Sexy Berry on top. You'll see that it is more red in tone, and then Bare Blush on the bottom, which is much more pink. They're very, very similar, I know this, but if you're a color theory nerd, then you kind of understand. And further away, back here, you can kind of see. You're gonna get a much lighter, kind of flirtier pink look with this. And then with this top one, it's a much more like, oh, just came in from skiing and being in the snow or running in the crisp air of spring, I guess now since it's spring. But a little bit deeper, definitely more berry and reddish. Love this color, especially if you're like me and reds tend to be too intense. Something like this will be a little bit more muted on your skin tone and look beautiful. So I love these. They blend flawlessly. They set down. 10 out of 10. Recommend. This has the technology that I wish all cream blushes did. Phytosurgeons is very similar, but this one almost feels drier to the touch. I don't mean that to scare anyone away because I have very dry skin. This still looks very nice. It's just not as creamy as some of the other ones, but in the best way possible. For mature skin, this is really going to blur and just look beautiful. Okay, I saved the best for last, I'm pretty sure. So this is the Triple Beauty Luminizing Wand. I feel like all of the sponsored videos and all of the videos that I have found on YouTube, this is like the product everyone raves about. It looks very familiar, especially when I take the cap off. I think we all know who this is duping the vibes of, but I like this one better. I wore the Charlotte Tilbury highlight and contour wands for my wedding. Loved them. They're very easy products. They blend in beautifully. They sit on the skin in a way that just looks like skin, not like pigment sitting on top of skin. But I like this highlight better. And I think it's the color. I'm probably going to have to swatch this in a very odd way because I'm running out of room here. Yeah. So if you can see right here, it is just beige enough that it's going to look on my skin tone like there. It doesn't look like anything. You're not going to see a stripe, but when it hits the light, oh, it's just beautiful. It's one of those very inner glow and wet shine looks. To me, those things are different. An inner glow is going to look very radiant, and that wet look just looks like sweat or beautiful oil, very strategically placed on the skin. This gives me both with no glitter. Don't get me wrong, there's shimmer in this product. That's what's catching the light, but it's not going to look like hunky chunky glitter. It blends out like a dream. It's beautiful. And when you compare this to the Charlotte Tilbury, which is $40, and this one being $9.81, there's just no competition. This is the only highlighter that I own other than Salt New York. They're the only two that I need. Yes, please. All right. So, thank you if you made it this far. Also, thank you if you skipped around to find specific products. I wanted to make this video because when I was debating BEAUTYPIE, I had seen a couple of my favorite creators make videos, but then I went down the rabbit hole of scouring YouTube, and I wish that someone would have made a video talking about the products that I wanted to try. So I'm hoping that this answers questions about products. I didn't get too in depth with ingredients. If you want to see that, I'm more than happy to make more BeautyPie content. Like I said, I have probably 25, 30 other products that I have tried from them. They're great, but they may not have knocked my current favorite out. These have been the products that I'm using almost every day or every day that have completely blown my typical favorites out of the water. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. You can find me on Instagram. I love talking about these products, so let me know if you have any questions, if there's specific products you want in-depth reviews on, or if you want me to talk about the things that I've tried that I liked but maybe not completely replaced my favorites day to day. I also want to talk about real quick, now that we've kind of run through those products, you probably have an idea if there are some products that they're offering that could potentially be daily staples for you. It kind of leads me into discussing, who do I think BeautyPie is for? To me, BeautyPie is going to have two types of customers. One of those being someone like me who loves to try any and all products and just has that insatiable hunger for learning what products can be like at certain price points with certain ingredients. If you're into just trying it all and some of these things interest you, I think that it's for you, especially if you like luxury experiences but don't want to pay a full luxury price. The other customer that I think BeautyPie is really for the person who is already using higher priced items or items priced at the same kind of level or higher than these BeautyPie offerings, specifically in skincare, body care, and makeup. If you're using products day to day that you think you could replace, save money on without kind of giving up on efficacy or ingredients or quality, and you understand that there are products within BeautyPie that are meant to be everyday staples, and then there are products like that brush set that are going to be just gifts. If the things that are going to replace your daily staple are the things that kind of stick around, like the healthy skin line, yes, I think BeautyPie would be a good investment. I think it's good to wait for some of those promotions that I mentioned if you want to save on the membership or even try a day pass to kind of get your toes wet with the products. But for me, some of the moisturizers alone save me enough that I feel that my membership is worth it, with the caveat that my membership really was only $9 for the year. The question, I guess, for me to answer is, would I allow my membership to re-up at the end of the year? Based on what I've seen, yes, I have no problem re-upping that membership. I think some of these products I'll stick with for years to come, God willing that they still make them. I couldn't be happier with this experience. I'm so glad I took the plunge. I'm so glad I waited 6 months in to kind of give you a roundup of the products that truly, truly just blow some of my regulars out of the water. And if you want to learn about the other products I tried, I am more than happy to make that content. I remember searching for hours on YouTube for BeautyPie content, so just being here making it is very exciting for me. I clearly can talk for a long time, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I had fun making it. And let me know if you want to see anything else from BeautyPie, if you have any questions, and if you've tried something that I didn't talk about, let me know. Happy to kind of do the research on it. And yeah, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I hope that you will join me in the next one. And until then, it was so nice to see you and can't wait to do it again. Bye. I've never talked to myself for an hour and 20 minutes before.